That is a good-looking trailer right there. Comes in just under 7,500 pounds. That is the J-Feather 30 QB here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is an update and a replacement to the previous 29 QB, and I think they did an amazing job, but I would love your feedback as we go. Leave me some comments and let me know. Love it or leave it? Is this thing a hitter or a quitter? I think she is sharp. 7,500 pounds, you are potentially in the range of half-ton towability. It will be a little long for some people to feel comfortable with a half-ton tower. I'll give you the information. You make your decisions based on your level of comfort and history. And if you're not really sure, if this is going to be a good fit for you, give our team here at Haylett RV a call. We are always happy to dig in to make sure that, you're getting the right RV the first time around. Now this floor plan, it's tricky, like Run DMC. It's not shaped exactly like anything else in the Jayco family, and I actually like that. I like the new blood concept here, but it's a model that's a little tricky for me to really capture, I think, the spirit of it on camera, and this is most definitely a camper I think you need to see in person. So just because it is a little different, I wanted to give you the reference point first and foremost by starting right off with the entry door, just to kind of give you an idea of like where we are at in the trailer, because it's uncommon and everything about this is left of center. Although, man, when you're sitting on the sofa or the dinette and you got that big epic picture window looking out here at your family, that is something that a lot of campers seem to really struggle with, and they did an ace job of it here. So backing up just a touch, on the other side of that, you've got more windows. That's what's cool. You've got great breeze-through windows and viewing windows on both sides of the RV. And the lighting package in here, borderline's on obscene. I think they probably could have dialed it back a little bit, and I don't know if you ever would have noticed, but that's typical Jayco doing Jayco things. So all of the windows have blackout kind of pleated shades. If you want to blot the sun out of this thing, you absolutely can. Not to mention the fact that even though you do have that private rear bunk sleeping space, if we fold down the sofa and the dinette, you see that you have room for multiple adults in this camper, and that is one of the other things I really like about this model. It is not just a bunkhouse for the kids. This is a camper that I think, when you got grown teenagers, when you have big adults coming with you, you're going to like what you see here. It is also completely carpetless. You can see how there's, they use the same linoleum in the flooring here, and they have that kind of, I don't know what you call it, bracket on dinette right there, which I tell you, for a taller person like me, means it's not a knee buster. Thank you very much. My grandfather called me Buster because I don't think it's because he expected me to go busting my kneecaps on dinette legs professionally like I commonly seem to do. Now notice too, easy reach outlets and household outlets. So yep, I just made up a new nerdism. Outlets, okay. Household outlets and USB plugs, basically anywhere you're going to sit or sleep. And I mean, I'm serious. How many lights are in this thing? This is ridiculous, the amount of lighting in here. I mean, it's awesome, but it's also ridiculous. Now, at first glance, the kitchen doesn't seem that impressive, but I actually think that is one of the most underrated features on this RV. And like all of our Jaycos, you've got yourself pocket-screwed cabinetry, with the hardwood cabinet doors and whatnot. And this right here, look at this, guys. It's almost easy to miss the fact, but do you see the color of the wall board right there? That is like a full wraparound countertop to cabinet bottom kitchen backsplash. That is an amazing attention to detail, but the thing is, it's so complete that unless I back up a little bit, it's actually pretty darn easy to miss. In our kitchen over here, we have ourselves some sealed edge counters to help keep the water penetration out of there. And so that, a lot of laminated RVs, they will force you to use outlets under the overhead cabinets. Now you see that Jayco is giving us some, because they do still want you to have plenty of outlets in here. But for everyday appliances, they are offering us that pop-up power tower right there at those USB plugs. So, you don't have to, I swear, appliances, they just keep coming with like shorter and shorter power cords. Is it me? Obviously, I get a little triggered about that. I didn't realize as I grew up, I'd care less about Nintendo and more about my KitchenAid power cord. But hey, life takes us down funny paths sometimes like that. But thankfully, it's not all just counter space and cabinet doors, although it does give us plenty of those. You might have noticed how that folding extension magically vanished over here. It needs to do that so that when the slide closes, it doesn't smash that thing, because the slide does need to close across that door. And if you hang out with us for just a minute, I will actually get you some good detailed footage of this RV with the slide closed. Now, there's the little Jayco doing Jayco things, as I like to say it, like the big drawer below that Furrion oven. And also, take note of the fact it is a Furrion oven. This is something that a lot of people don't realize, but the cool thing with the Furrions is that the sparker knob actually will ignite the oven. Many, and in fact, most RV ovens do not have that feature. Clutter cut and shoe garage right down there, right below the entertainment center. And I knew I would miss something. I forgot to open those overhead cabinet doors right there. But one thing I want to do, I want to like almost take a seat on the sofa here so you can see up to that ceiling. And this is a really cool thing Jay Feather's doing, giving us that big XL vent fan here in the ceiling. So that whether you're exhausting cooking heat or if you do want to open all those glorious windows and let that light flow through, you can. Now, thing is, behind the entertainment center is probably one of the best hidden gems of this RV. It is a literal walk-in pantry. And that was not the light of heaven shining down, although it should, when that light kicks on, it should make that like choir of angels kind of harp harmony sound when you pop that thing open. Now, the thing is, you saw we got the Drunken Octopus coat hangers in here. This could be a closet. You could hang some brooms in here. Obviously, we've got all sorts of pantry space. This is an awesome, awesome space right there that, once again, like you're going to hear me say 100 times, this RV is awkward, to put on camera. I'm telling you guys, you have to see this one in person. You have to come visit us and see it in person to make sense of this thing. It's so much better in person here. And I realized I missed something here in the kitchen. The refrigerator, because it's mounted over here in the slide out. And if you're noticing, this is not what we would traditionally call a big full super slide camper. But it still has the seating between the sleeper sofa and the space of a super slide. It's a very atypical, irregular layout. It's actually a little bit of like a classic Ultralite design flipped upside down and on its head, like Missy Elliott got a hold of it and flipped it and reversed it or something. I don't know. Ooh, smart! Extra power outlet down there right on the dinette. I mean, it's great that you got them there, but I mean, you've got all kinds of outlets all over the place here. Outlets by the dinette, that is one of those things that you don't realize you need until you don't have them. Now, standard in this model would be a 6 cubic foot two-way gas electric fridge freezer. We've got this built with the 8.7 cubic foot 12 volt DC compressor fridge. And you see down below that slide out drawer right there. Just interesting Jayco doing Jayco things, always maximizing our storage capacity. Now, if I slide over here in the dinette, if we're trying to entertain the kids or if you're doing some work, you're straight across from the entertainment center. But what if you're over here on that nice plush comfy sofa? Well, no worries. Jayco made the TV pivot around so that everybody gets an easy shot at it. You can make it face almost straight toward the sofa, or if you've done like I've done here, you can kind of half and half split the difference. Now, we've got a sliding pocket privacy door back there, and that's one of the cool things about this one. You can close the bunk room and be like, all right, kids, go to your room. Or, again, this model is good for more than just kids. It can be adult friendly. Because during the day, we have ourselves basically an expanded second living room, because that top bunk, you can just push it up and that latch will catch itself. It doesn't even take like 2 hands to do it, even when you've got skinny chicken arms like mine. But down below here, like I said, during the day, you've got yourself like a nice little private room. This could be an office, a den. And again, with that cargo door over here, which does deadbolt for security, by the way, it makes this exceptionally flexible. Like, how would you load bikes in here, dog kennels? How would you folks use this? I'd really be curious, because I think that this is a model that could work for more than just being a bunkhouse. Although, you're going to see it does that very well. But they, like every room in this camper, I guarantee you could find a little less expensive, a little bit lighter trailer sort of like this. But these little details like this, it ain't going to have them. Like the bonus drawers under here, like the included from the factory kind of floating outdoor picnic table. You could also use that inside. Nothing says you got to take it outdoors. You could use it as a Dinofa table. You could put it back here in the bunk room for expanded like eating space or office space. Again, the flexibility of this floor plan is pretty much unparalleled. And when I get this flip-up bunk out of the way, you get to see one of the coolest things on Jayco's, and that is the way that they're using thicker bunk mattresses and better materials, like that plywood decking over here. That is how Jayco's are able to achieve, on every model, a 300-pound bunk rating per sleeping space. So again, more than good for just kids. And this is another reason why I say that, because with the L Bunkhouse, that top bed right there gives us like almost an 8-foot long bed. And by the way, every window that you're going to see in here, they all open for airflow. Now, I talked in the living room a bunch about outlets. This bedroom is no different. And folks, windows, lights, outlets, those things are very expensive in the RV industry, especially like the copper to run all the wiring in this camper has the cost of that's almost doubled in the last year. So adding all of these outlets, those handy little corner shelves, this is an immensely detailed camper. This is not designed to be the least expensive thing you could possibly own. This is designed to be something where if you want to make it last a long time, this is where you want to be looking. Now, even back here, direct facing entertainment center across from the sofa, which is one of the reasons I think this could really function well as an office. Because I could set that table in front of me, I could like put a computer on there, I could hook it up to that, if I added a TV in front of me, basically, like a monitor, you could have yourself an interesting private space back here. But they still made sure they gave us a good like storage capacity here, and this is kind of interesting. You've got a couple little hanging hooks up here for kiddo jackets. It's not super bright in there, apologies, but there's a little magnet. It's called a Mervyn shelf that flips down. If you need more dresser space and less like hang a jacket space, you can convert this thing however you want to. Then, let's see, I think we got the living room just about licked. Let's head up to the bathroom. First of all, as we come into the bathroom, the door locks. By the way, the sliding privacy doors in this RV, both for the master bedroom as well as back in that cool bunk office room, whatever we decide we want to call it, they all have latches. So if you want to straight close them down, you absolutely can. Now, you have two different interior decors in the living room, but the bathroom will always have the farmhouse look like this, and the bedroom will always have the look that you're going to see. The only decor things that you change will actually just be the whiter sections of the wood tones in the living room going to that vintage decor. Now, this is a larger radius shower that gives me plenty of elbow room. I'm tall enough that if you take note, I do need my head in the skylight a little bit if I stand straight up and down in this one. But most of the time, I got my head ducked over if I'm in the shower. I'm getting my hair, well, not hair, I don't have a lot of hair, but you get the idea. I'm not standing straight up and down in the shower much. And it's kind of tricky because we're about to see some good cabinet space in this bathroom that really it eats up a lot of floor space, but there was still enough legroom here for me that I got along just fine. And this was a little bit different, but I like it. I like that little drawer at the bottom. I don't know why I like it, but I think that for somebody looking for something like a space for a blow dryer, that's going to work a lot nicer than just throwing it inside of a cabinet. I just feel like that's a little more convenient. Now, the tricky part is what's happening over here. And this is the kind of extra stuff where Jay Feather's taking it up a notch. And most things in this class, in this price point, they don't give us just a giant full wall kind of linen space like this. Toiletries, toilet paper, body wash, anything, I would say hair care products, but I don't know much about those anymore, not that I ever did. It's that kind of detail right there. That is the kind of thing that if this RV didn't have it, you would really know it. But a lot of times when people are shopping, they don't take the time to look into the bonus drawer below the sink, the giant linen cabinet across from the toilet. The RV is cheaper and lighter without those, and unless you've camped before, you don't realize how important that is. And that's what's great. This is not made for someone who has no clue what they're doing. This is made for someone who understands what they need and where they need it, and Jayco nailed it. Now, as we leave the bathroom and head up to the bedroom, you see the solar prep sticker over here. If you install a solar system, that is where the charge controller would be located, basically. This RV has both roof and simple side solar prep plugs. It's got a little bit of both going on. I will mention, all Jay Feathers are Camp Queens from the factory, but they intentionally built this with a lot of room. If you want to upgrade to a true queen, you absolutely can in here and not have to rub your butt against the wall, by the way. Now, here's another cool thing. in the living room, we saw where they had one of those big vent fans. This is a smaller room, so it has a smaller vent fan. But how about the fact that they actually included it from the factory? Almost no other brands are doing it, especially at this size and this class and this price point. That's not a common industry feature. Now, by the way, if you're interested in like upgrading to a larger vent fan, give us a call at Haylett RV. We have those things all day long. That's easy screwdriver work for us. So where do I want to start in this bedroom? Okay, I tell you what. I want to show you one of my favorite little features. You see that little pocket up there next to the pillow, kind of hidden behind the hanging closet? Well, that is actually an interesting little, I call it like CPAP storage cubby, because you see you do have a set of household outlets back there. Now, you know, I've heard people say they'd use this for like phones and chapstick and all kinds of stuff. And that little blue light right there is on a separate switch. You have a different one for this side of the bed and the other side of the bed. So if you want to use it as a reading lamp, or if you just need to like try to find your chapstick in the morning, you don't want to turn on a main light or whatever the case may be, you can do that right here. But that's a cool detail. And in addition to those little kind of neat hidden corner pockets, whatever you want to call them there, full overhead cabinet, not just a shelf, and both side wardrobe hanging closets have their own removable dresser shelf. So if you want more folded clothing space and less hanging clothing space, this gives you some easy factory ways to kind of convert that around. Not to mention the easy lift plywood deck bed with the full storage below. Always a crowd pleaser, especially when it's completely separated from the front pass-through like this. Actually, what do you guys think? I think more people do prefer it to be separated like that, but you know, what's your call? Leave me a comment, let me know. Quick look here with our slide closed in travel mode. By the way, pro tip, make sure you have that table down in transit. It'll help keep it from sliding around and banging into stuff, because that's the last thing you want. So just for another point of reference, obviously, got our entry door on the left over here, early morning right now. I'm actually jumping on this segment of the footage way ahead of everything else. Now, when we get in here, you can get to a lot of the kitchen cabinetry with the slide closed. But then we have the question of like, well, what about the refrigerator? Well, we can get to the freezer pretty easy. Bam. Bam. The fridge, we can get to a little bit of it. So if you're careful about how you pack stuff up, that'll work. Now, remember, you know, if we're talking about an overnight stay, a little sleep in transit, you've got the dinette here, which would remain sleep accessible. But obviously, without, you know, opening the slide pretty much 100% of the way, we're not going to get to the bunk room. But for some folks who don't mind working around something, you know, when the RV is parked, there's a little bit of a way around this. And that's back here. Although we don't think of this as a people door, it's actually a normal RV door. It's just shorter height. It has the same lock and the same deadbolt as we just, used in the living room to get out here. So if you really, really need to, for a travel, overnight, stop, stay, whatever, you could get back here in the bunk room. You could help load the kids up, although having a light or two on would be beneficial, something I forgot to do. You could load cargo in there before you left. So by adding that cargo door, they've made it more travel friendly than you would think, if you're willing to look at that as a solution. That really varies by user. My goal here is to just try to give you ideas and give you straight information and no runaround. I'd rather give you the straight and skinny rather than the, I don't know, confusing and chubby. I don't know where I was going with that. I just know that we're going to stop now. Good gravy. It is. My fingers are freezing out here running this camera, but I just don't want to take a break. I want to make sure I get you the footage of this thing because this is great. And like I said, when we began, it has one of my favorite features from its predecessor, the 29Q BGA Feather, and that is that DUAL Power Awning set up there. Now, if the camera's a little shaky, I'm literally walking on ice right now, and I'm just trying not to bust my backside, so, you know, give me a little bit of a pass on this one. I'm doing my best. But that power awning space, so first of all, just the front power awning clearly covers both entry doors, so you're not constantly getting spritzed in the face. And you can see back here on the main entry door, you can add the optional MORryde stable steps for a little sturdier come and go. But then we have, like, you've almost got like a front living awning and then like a rear party awning. You know, you got your own little patio party space back here. You got TV hookups, outside camp kitchen, all kinds of room over there for picnic tables, whatever works for you. On the way, we're going to pass our best-in-class Goodyear Endurance radials. They are rated for way too many miles per hour, but the good news is they're overrated instead of underrated. I've been called overrated in my time. I'm not sure that's necessarily wrong, but I digress. So this, the J Feathers and the White Hawks, the Jayco lightweight family members there, they have an interesting camp kitchen design. It starts with this pull-out Capital Grill, complete with the Jaybird emblazoned Barley Poppinator. And then you've got split counter spaces. Each have their own household outlets, by the way. In the middle here, we have a little fridge keeping our, kids' juice hug barrels and dad's medicine cabinet cool, because there's nothing like a nice cool drink on a hot summer day. And then again, extra prep space. And then the sink setup on this is a little unconventional, but it is very multifunctional. So instead of just, I've always kind of called these like a scorpion tail thing, but there is something about this. Doesn't that look like a seahorse? And, the male seahorse has the baby. And I act like a baby, so I don't know, it makes sense to me, regardless. Anyway, you get the idea. Down below, we got our little bowl sink, but then, I'm weird, oh no, hold on. Wardrobe malfunction, just not the Janet Jackson variety. Thankfully, I did not have the Janet Jackson variety of wardrobe malfunction. That is something nobody wants to see there. But a little kind of, I don't know, utensil drawer, in a sense. And then, just again, the total amount of patio space in that, when you look at those two awnings together, it's nuts. Now, back here in the rear corner, I want to point out a couple things. First of all, the J Smart lighting system. Let's say you flip on your left-hand turn signal. You're going to change lanes. All of the lights down this side of the RV will blink along with that signal, so that other people on the road actually have an idea of what you're trying to do. And it's better, it's safer, and it's mind-boggling to me that is not standard safety equipment throughout the entirety of the RV industry. A couple brands do a miniature version of it. No one fully does what Jayco does with that smart lighting right there. We'll get up on the roof in just a second, because even though it's a little icy out here, it's not icy up there. I want to take a quick second, though, to point out, like, the outside shower. We've already really looked at the bunkhouse cargo door previously when I was talking about how you can access it with the slides closed, but I do want to give you just a quick reference point to the, remember when I was talking about the back of the dinette bench has a storage door built right onto the slide? That's what I'm talking about there. And I realized I kind of went around this one in reverse order. I'm doing things in a completely atypical way for myself today. But hey, why not? New year, new you, 2021, whatever. Up front here, power tongue jack, 20-pound propane tanks for easy Sunday changeovers. And you will find that this RV has not just a simple side mount solar prep plug. She is also roof solar ready. Another thing this has is not just rear camera readiness, but side view camera readiness as well. And Jayco purposely built this stuff so that it does play good ball with the J Smart lighting system. Unlike me, I am not a good ball player unless we're talking about the old Nintendo ball. I can kill you on some Nintendo ball, but not so much with the physical variety. By the way, the handy battery disconnect switch right there, very useful for making sure the RV doesn't go dead when it's in storage. Okay, I was wrong. I should not be up here given the current roof situation. That being said, it's mostly crunchy snow, actually giving me pretty decent traction, but I'm not going to make a regular diet out of this. I guess while I'm up here, I want to make a quick mention of the Magnum Truss roof system, which gives this RV the heaviest roof load rating, which I guess as long as we're looking at snow, if you live where there's a lot of snow, one of the benefits of a Jayco RV is that typically you don't have to go worrying about pushing the snow off the roof of this thing. You can just stay on your side where it's warm and not be up here like me where it's a little less safe, I guess. And again, like I mentioned before we got up here, she's not just side solar ready, but also has that standard roof solar prep plug there. Now, pardon me, I'm going to very carefully get off here before I end up breaking my neck. So what do you think, everybody? I think that's pretty sharp. Now, pardon the ninja head sock. Back when I had hair, it was warmer out here. And, little funky things like this I got to do to keep the videos coming. But I'm not going to let a little weather stop me. And if you appreciate that, click that little subscribe button. Let me know that the dedication's going someplace good. And then leave me some comments. What do you think about the camper? I think this thing is cool. I think it is a good, smart addition to the, replacement rather, to the 29 QB J Feather. And overall, I'm really happy with what I see here. Now, along the way, if you have other questions, let us know that too, and I'll always do my best to try to assist you. And remember, we don't do hidden dealer fees at Haylett RV. We only do everything else. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.